Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive, your shortcut to really getting the inside scoop. We cut through the noise, get you the essential insights. Today, we're diving into, a really compelling NFL story. It goes way beyond just the usual off-season chatter. It's about a player's journey, finding that perfect fit, and how that can just unlock potential you didn't even know was there. Our guy today, wide receiver Dami Brown. And the buzz, it's definitely real, specifically about his move to the Jacksonville Jaguars and the excitement around what he could bring to what people are already calling an elite wide receiver group. All our info today, it's coming from one place. An ESPN piece by Michael DeRocco dropped July 6, 2025. So our mission, pull out all the key nuggets from that article, give you the full picture on this move, why it's actually pretty significant. Let's start with Dami Brown himself, because his own words kind of set the whole stage. He said he wanted a chance to do more. Simple enough, right? But, if you just look at the stats from his early career, you might wonder, okay, what's the big fuss? And that's where it gets interesting. Because Brown finished 2024 still with Washington with this, unexpected surge. And get this, in the playoffs, he had the second most receiving yards across the whole league.
Yeah, that's the real head turner, isn't it?
Exactly. So it brings up a big question. How does a player like Dami Brown, I mean, third-round pick, number 82 overall back in 21, right? Came out of North Carolina with these monster stats.
Oh, yeah, over his last 2 years there, something like 106 catches,
Yeah.
over 2,100 yards, 20 touchdowns, just dominant college production.
Right. So how does that guy become, well, let's be honest, kind of an underachiever for his first 3 years? Only 29 catches in, 47 games? Never really the number 2 guy next to Terry McLaurin, who was always getting his 1,000 yards. And then, boom, end of 2024, he just explodes. What's your take on that? What changed so dramatically?
That's really the core question, isn't it? And it digs into something fascinating about player development. Those first 3 years, like you said, 29 catches, 47 games. That's barely making a ripple. Meanwhile, McLaurin is consistently excellent. So, yeah, underachiever fits the narrative based on the numbers, but you got to ask why.
Was it opportunity? Scheme.
Could be a mix of things, really. The source material, DeRocco's piece, kind of hints at it. Washington, during those years, they had some QB instability, OC changes.
Yeah.
You know how that goes.
Sure. Consistency is key.
Exactly. And the offense wasn't always built to just chuck it deep, which is where Brown really shone in college. His tape was full of him flying past guys.
Yeah.
He's a vertical threat. So if the system doesn't use that, or the QB can't get it there consistently, well, talent can get buried.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't him suddenly getting talent, but circumstances finally allowing him to show it. Maybe a light bulb moment for him, too.
And what a showing it was when it finally clicked. That explosion you mentioned, it's absolutely central here. Let's look closer. Final 6 weeks of the 2024 regular season. 16 catches, 159 yards. Okay, modest numbers, but it pushed his season totals to career highs. 30 catches, 308 yards, shows things were trending up. But the playoffs, that's where, like you said, the story just takes off.
A completely different level.
In Washington's 3 playoff games, he ties McLaurin with 14 catches. Okay, impressive.
Yeah.
But then he actually outgained McLaurin, 229 yards to 227.
Wow, that's saying something.
Right, it's not just noise. And there's that one game, the real standout moment, feels like the hinge point. 5 catches, 89 yards, and a TD in that upset win over Tampa Bay, 23-20. That performance, it felt like something shifted.
And what's really illuminating here, what makes this whole story connect, is that specific game, the one against the Bucs where Brown went off.
Okay.
Guess who the offensive coordinator for Tampa Bay was at that exact moment?
Uh-oh, I think I know where this is going.
Liam Cohen,
Ah.
now the head coach in Jacksonville.
So he saw it up close and personal.
Exactly. Not just film study after the fact. He's on the opposing sideline watching Brown carve up his defense in a playoff game. That firsthand look,
Yeah.
that was critical. It let Cohen really picture Brown fitting into what he wanted to build in Jacksonville, especially since they just traded Christian Kirk, released Evan Ingram. They needed pieces.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting, that direct observation. It probably carried more weight than any scouting report based on those first 3 seasons. Cohen saw the potential realized under pressure.
And Cohen's vision for Brown in Jacksonville, it sounds pretty ambitious. He flat out said Brown's role would be way bigger than what he had in Washington, more expansive. He called Brown someone able to attack the field at all 3 levels. So, yeah, the deep stuff, post, in the go, and the pylons, all that, game-breaking speed. But also, and this seems key, the versatility. taking a screen pass and, quote, go and do something with it. It's that yards after catch ability.
The dynamic playmaking.
Yeah, and Cohen had that great quote, I can't coach that. I can't coach you to go and make 3 people miss after you've caught the ball.
Right. That acknowledges the natural talent, the stuff you can't just drill into someone.
So that promise, diversify your route tree and have you do more, that must have been music to Brown's ears. And it led to that 1-year deal, $9.5 million guaranteed.
Which is significant.
It really is. For a guy labeled an underachiever just months before, that's a big bet by the Jags, isn't it? What's the flip side? What if that playoff run was just a hot streak?
It's a fair point. That kind of guarantee definitely signals a strong belief, maybe bordering on a gamble, given the overall production history. But I think Cohen, seeing him do it against his own scheme, that mitigates the risks.
One direct evidence factor.
Precisely. And then you add in what Trevor Lawrence has apparently been seeing in OTAs and minicamp already. It starts to look less like a gamble and more like a calculated investment based on specific observed traits. Cohen didn't just see speed, he saw slipperiness, instincts. They think they know how to use him in a way Washington didn't or couldn't. So the risk is there, sure, but it feels grounded in that unique first-hand observation and a specific plan.
And it sounds like that plan's already clicking based on those early reports you mentioned. Trevor Lawrence, the QB, he's apparently been really impressed.
Yeah, the reports are very positive.
Lawrence mentioned the speed, stretching the field, obviously, but he really highlighted that Brown is, quote, a really, really smart football player. Picked up the system fast, which is apparently pretty complex.
That's huge. It's not just about physical tools.
No, exactly. Lawrence said he's gotten the ball a lot because it seems like he's always in the right spot. He always has a feel for the zone, like where to sit, where to exploit those voids. That's football IQ. That's understanding coverages.
Being quarterback friendly.
Totally. And Cohen chimed in, too, mentioning the chemistry they're already building on. Intermediate in-breakers, curls, maybe out-cuts. Roots Brown apparently didn't run much in Washington.
Right, diversifying the route tree, just like they promised.
So it's already happening. It's tangible. It's not just off-season talk. They're seeing it on the practice field. He's fitting that bigger, more varied role Cohen laid out.
Which has got to be exciting for everyone involved.
Absolutely. But this isn't just about Dami Brown getting a second chance, right? His arrival changes the whole picture for the Jags receivers. I mean, you look at that room.
Oh, yeah, it's potentially scary.
You've got Travis Hunter, second overall pick, just an electric talent, and Brian Thomas Jr., who was 3rd in the whole NFL in receiving yards last year as a rookie.
Incredible rookie season.
So you drop Dami Brown with this expanded role Cohen wants for him into that mix. He's got to be looking at career highs across the board in 2025. Catches, yards, TDs. It's a strategic power-up for the whole offense.
And strategically, thinking bigger picture, that blend is what's really significant. You have Hunter's versatility, Thomas Jr.'s proven deep threat and YAC ability, and now Brown as this versatile weapon who can work all 3 levels and exploit zone coverage.
So it's not just 3 good players.
No, it's about having 3 different kinds of threats who can all theoretically run similar routes within the same system. Think about the stress that puts on a defense.
Yeah, who do you focus on?
Exactly. You can't just double one guy or tilt your coverage. They can move pieces around, create mismatches. That versatility should, in theory, make everyone better. It forces defenses to stay honest, opens things up for Lawrence. It's potentially synergistic, not just additive, makes a whole greater than the sum of its parts.
And Dami Brown himself, he seems totally bought in, not just on his role, but on that collective firepower. He had a great quote about it.
Oh, yeah. What do you say?
He said, nobody's just running one route. We know we all do the exact same thing, and it's kind of hard to guard 3 people that can necessarily do the same thing and then be explosive at the same time.
Wow. That nails the strategic intent, doesn't it? Interchangeable, explosive parts.
Totally. And he even mentioned the running backs adding another layer of explosiveness, so it's a full offense concept. He finished by saying, I think this offense right here just sets us up for success.
Sounds confident?
Yeah, and that, for you listening, is really why this is such a fascinating situation to track. It's about building something potentially special on offense. So wrapping up this deep dive, we've traced this pretty cool journey, right? A player wanting more, a coach who saw his potential firsthand, and an offense built to maximize everybody's talent. Brown's potential turnaround, going from, that underachiever tag to maybe a key piece for Lawrence, it really speaks to smart coaching and finding the right fit.
It really does. And zooming out, Brown's story is just a fantastic example of how a change of scenery, especially when driven by a coach with a very specific vision for your skill set, can just completely alter a player's career path.
Yeah.
It hammers home that point. It's not always just about raw talent. It's about fit. It's about the scheme. It's about coaches knowing how to use your specific strengths, attacking all three levels like Cohen wants Brown to do, and maybe valuing what they saw with their own eyes over just the stat sheet from a previous, perhaps less suitable situation.
And that's why this matters to you, the listener. It's just a prime example of how understanding individual skills, matching them with coaching philosophy, and fitting them into team dynamics can lead to, well, potentially explosive outcomes. It's way deeper than just numbers. It's about fit, opportunity, unlocking potential.
Yeah, absolutely. Which leaves us with the final thought, building on Brown's own words. He said, it's kind of hard to guard three people that can necessarily do the same thing and then be explosive at the same time. So, thinking about that, what does that kind of collective versatility mean for where NFL offenses are heading? And how much pressure does that put back on defensive coordinators trying to game plan for teams like these Jags in 2025? What really jumps out to you as the most surprising or maybe the most important piece to this whole Dami Brown puzzle? Something to chew on.